they are archives. They reveal the life of the church. And all sorts of, again, our archives are leadership documents. Life at congregational level can be a very different matter. Life outside the big organized denominations, especially in the chapter of Christian life in which we're in now, where all sorts of charismatic figures have introduced new movements in Christian thinking, Christian operations in all sorts of ways. These are the things that we need. Now, one aspect of this is that these things are of their nature local. And this means that any local institution can be the centre of an archive. It can be the centre of a unique archive. It can contain material that nobody else has got. Material certainly that you don't have in Yale or Edinburgh or Liverpool. These separate small collections become treasure houses in themselves. So the grey material, I think you might roughly define as all the things that librarians don't want to catalogue. Things for which you can't do a mark entry. Things that are only a person with Christ Church is going to bother with. And you can make such collections right across the world. They'll be different in Ghana from what they are in Singapore or in Taiwan, but each will be a treasure house. Later on, it's in this sort of company that we can compare those and encourage each other in the quest. But I think it's something we can all do in institutions, large or small. And we can find the ways of comparing notes afterwards. Liverpool, well, we've inherited large numbers of people's collections over a good time now. So we've certainly got much of this informal grey material from many parts of the world. And I've gone grey trying to write the descriptive notes for some of it. But I would urge that this remains part of our quest and maybe our special contribution to the whole of the great enterprise that comes with seeking the record of Christ Church militant here on earth. Can I leave it there?
In the development of libraries and archives over the many years since you first started in Sierra Leone, was it? Sierra Leone. I mean, we're talking over a period of, well, more than, maybe, would it be rude to say 50 years?
60.
So, I'm being generous. And certainly there's been real development. Could you just say a word about your observations on that?
A library is an act of faith. You don't know who's going to use it, and you don't know when. I have sat in Martha's sellers in time past and opened a book 200 years old where I had to cut the pages in order to read it. And I rejoiced that somebody had kept that book 200 years just for me. And that, I think, is what our job as librarians, archivists, collectors, what it is. You're building for the future, and a future you can't see. And sometimes it doesn't work. I think I mentioned the other day the experience of seeing what seemed to be a wonderful collection where we'd gathered materials from all over southeast Nigeria, from churches of a 60 to 70 year sweep, unique records, got them together in one place, got them cared for, got the termites dusted out, and then through warfare, the whole pile disappeared. And we don't need any reminding that that is part of the vulnerability. The Christian revolution that has taken place in the 20th century, that has moved the center of Christianity to Africa and Asia and Latin America, is one that takes place in very conflicted situations very often, very vulnerable ones. We have to do the best job we can with maintaining these things, and there'll be the disappointments and the heartbreaks. But that, I think, is part of it.
We have 2 minutes.
So,
2 minutes.
no, I want to talk about 2 centuries. So I